I'm grateful that you are part of this Hug Nation. You have dual citizenship, so welcome. Let's take a deep breath together. Welcome. I'm Halcyon and this is Hug Nation. Today I want to talk about dying and grief and celebration. Yesterday I went to a memorial service for a beautiful man, a friend named Eddie. And he was taken too soon. I was honored to speak at the memorial, and so I wanted to share some of the thoughts that I shared at the memorial, as well as maybe some other things that have popped in my head. You know, how do you celebrate? How do you grieve someone who is so young and vibrant, taken too soon? We do it in our own way, in our own time. But I suggest, if you can, focus on gratitude. Not the naive, childish gratitude of puppy dogs and rainbows, but the intense focus on reality, the intense awareness of your blessings and the gifts. Specifically, the gift of every moment that you shared with Eddie or with someone that is no longer with us. And that shift from what we've lost to what we have is the same lesson of gratitude in every part of our life. It's just tested when it comes to the loss of a friend, a loved one, family. I do think it's important to remember that all lives end. And life is not measured by how many years you live. It's measured, as the musical Rent so beautifully says, it's measured in love. And dying is hard, not for those that die. In fact, Ram Dass said that dying is absolutely safe. Dying is difficult to those that are still alive, that remain in their human bodies. For what is it to be alive and to be human? It is to be born into a singular body, to leave the oneness of omniscient, divine, cosmic, universal non-duality and become born into a singular consciousness, a little bitty fractional perspective of the universe. And so from that fractional awareness, we get the gift of a human adventure. We have wonder and adventure and drama and anxiety and triumph and fear and glory and grief. And that's the gift. That is what we get. It's hard though. It is hard throughout. It is so filled with these peaks and valleys. But that is, if we can remember, that's the gift. And when that journey is over, the blinders are removed, we transition and we return back to that oneness, that perfection and bliss beyond anything we can understand or imagine. Trying to understand what happens after death is as ridiculous as a fetus trying to imagine what life will be like once it is born. We just have no way. My grandfather, his last words before he died as he was going into hospice were, "Isn't this exciting? I don't know what the next chapter is." And while it's exciting for someone about to take on that new adventure, it is terrifying and painful for those left behind. Because as we go through our lives and we make relationships and we love, we become influence, we become a part of those that we connect with. Our heart makes room for all those that we love. Everything that they have impacted upon us becomes a part of who we are, and it becomes a part of what we spread in the world. And so when that absence happens, we are literally dealing with this vacuum. Where does all that love go? And that's what hurts so much. But it's important to remember that that vacuum is not absolute. The person is not entirely gone. You are left with a significant amount of residue, of influence, of vibration, of ripples. The ripples of everyone who has impacted you is a part of you forever. And so as you go through the world, you spread the vibes and the ripples of everyone who has etched themselves on your heart. And no one dies while their ripples remain. I think it was Ursula de Guin who said that. One thing that I learned at the Burning Man Temple, as I witnessed so much profound sadness and grief and suffering and pain as people are dealing with all of the people that they've lost, I had this powerful download that the depths of these troughs of experience that people were sharing was merely an echo of the peaks of the love and connection that they had. And so while it is intense, if you can pull back, you can see that intensity of experience, as hard as it is, as a testimony to how powerfully they touched our lives and continue to touch our lives and are a part of us. It is that opposite reaction that shows us how much they are a part of who we are. And I think it's important to remember that we have the ability to bring that person into our moments at any time. We can take someone who is no longer with us, close our eyes, think of them smiling, them laughing, and actually feel the goodness, the warmth that you felt when they were physically next to you. I invite you to do that now. Bring someone to mind. I can think of Eddie smiling and laughing, being silly. And now that is a part of the energy that I bring to this day, to this moment, to all my interactions. My vibrations are infused with him. So as we go through the world, know that we are always simply the collective love of all those that have touched our heart. And I find a lot of comfort in that, knowing that our ripples continue on, others' ripples continue on through us. And life does not begin at birth nor end at death. Only what we can understand happens during those arbitrary markers. So we grieve, we feel that pain, and hopefully also recognize the profound gift of the experiences that we had. Thank you, Eddie. I love you. Thank you, everyone who is a product of those that have touched them and that are of service to the world by spreading the ripples of those you love. Thank you. I love you. One other thing I wanted to share regarding death, and specifically lives cut short. I think that I try to be transparent about my struggles. And one of the reasons is because I think it's important that we don't feel alone. And it's important to recognize that everyone is struggling. So that when you're in that place of struggle, you don't feel like to confess that would be an admission of failure, whether that is depression, whether that is substance abuse, whether that is addiction, whether that is any behavior that is got a hold of you, any addictive belief, behavior, mental health struggle. We're all dealing with those things. I certainly am, and have been most of my life in some way or another. That doesn't mean that I've failed. Doesn't mean that I am not worthy of love. Doesn't mean that my confession of some poor decision or irresponsibility or lack of control should mean that I am any less worthy of respect. It means that I'm having a human experience. And I think it's important that we all recognize that we're all together. We're all walking each other home, as Ram Dass would say. And it's important that we destigmatize the struggles that we're all having. You never know when your secret is what someone else needs to hear to know that they're not alone. And when you might be the one that helps relieve the burden that is way too strong for them to handle or too powerful for them to deal with. And then knowing that they are not the failure, they are not alone, allows them to speak their truth, to get help, to find the support of community that can only happen when we can be truly ourselves and feel free. So I hope that is another gift that Eddie has given us, is a reminder that we are all struggling. And we need to be careful and look out for one another, and especially trust one another to love us even when we're not perfect. Thank you. I love you. So wherever you are, let's have a hug. As we sit here, physically separate, but in a collective vibrational embrace, sharing this moment beyond time and space. You may watch this recording and you release this energy. Know that we are connected in this shared humanity, way deeper than our beliefs or our experiences or our opinions or our judgments. Is this shared human experience where we're having struggles and desires and fears and love, and we desire safety and desire connection. And in that place, we can all be united and all know that we are far more alike than we are different. So in that place, feel me hugging you. I'm going to feel you hugging me, and give yourself an embrace and feel all those that you've encountered over the last week. Hold them and let them hold you in this place beyond our identities, just in the place of our humanity. Take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb, Eddie Bear, and all of you beautiful love warriors, happy Hug Nation. I love you. I should also mention my book is available. Well, this is the proof copy, but it is available for pre-order at book.stin.net. I'm very excited by it. It looks legit.